Okay, hello everyone. Please let me know if the audio is okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear the music? How are the levels? Let me know. Hey everyone! It's so nice to see all these familiar names popping up. Everything's fine? Oh, good. Hi! Oh, so many familiar names. Okay, I'm just gonna let Instagram know that I'm live. Okay, I think we can begin. Hello everyone! Oh my gosh, so many familiar names. Hi Lucky. Hi Caterpillar. Hi everyone. Okay, so a couple of things. I'm using a new camera to stream. Well, not a new camera, a different camera. So it's in 4K and hopefully it doesn't make the stream too laggy or anything. Yeah, I'm trying a few different things with the live stream. I'm still super new to it, so hopefully everything goes okay. Good morning, good afternoon, hey everyone. Yeah, feel free to say where you're watching from if you want. I'm in Montreal, Quebec. So far, so good. Okay. So today I want to, I don't know why I chose to do this, but I'm gonna do some landscape studies in gouache. And I actually have the reference here to put on the screen. Look at that. Oh, one more thing. I have to change the chat to not top chat, but to live chat so that I can see all the messages and not just some of them. I'm learning. Okay, now I should see all the messages. Germany, London, France, Ottawa. Ottawa's close. Wow, so cool. I've been to Germany, London, France, and Ottawa. San Francisco, haven't been to San Francisco. Cool, okay. So I think I need to make my sketch a little more visible for you guys. I thought you were gonna practice watercolor. I know, so this is a watercolor sketchbook, but I sort of designed it with gouache in mind because I like painting on hot press paper with gouache, and I kind of prefer cold press for watercolor. I don't know. I like both. I like both. But yeah, I've already started to work in here with gouache. There's a sneak peek. Cape Breton. Oh, so cool. Puerto Rico. Southwest England, Chile, Sweden. Snowed in New York. Czech Republic. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. So cool. Yeah, it was freezing here in Montreal yesterday. Still is. Okay, I think I want to do a quick grayscale value study for this before we dive into the gouache. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know why I decided to do a landscape on stream when I am not super comfortable or familiar with landscapes, but I want these Sunday live streams to be a chance for me to just have fun and, you know, try new things and hang out. So that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, I'm hoping to stream every Sunday. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a good day and time for everyone. And then even if you can't catch the stream, it will be up on my channel to rewatch. Oh, I do have to change one thing on my back end here. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Which one is harder to get into, gouache or watercolor? Personally, I find watercolor a lot harder, but up until recently, I feel like there was a lot more resources for learning watercolor versus gouache, but that's changing. I think you can find lots of good resources now for gouache. I don't know, in my opinion, watercolor is the hardest. So my goal today is to simplify this landscape. I don't need to copy the image. I can make some changes that I think will make it look like a more interesting painting. But I do want to study it, so I don't want to change it too much. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to do a little grayscale with marker just so I get an understanding of the value. So it doesn't have to be too accurate. Brooklyn, New York. Okay. Sunday streams would be awesome. Okay, I'm going to answer some of you guys' questions in a minute. Okay, so I've just got these Ohuhu markers here, and I just grabbed 4 colors on the grayscale. So I think I'm gonna pretty much fill it in, but there's a few moments of pure white in the clouds. Yeah, I can actually just fill this all in down here. So this doesn't have to look pretty. I don't always do a grayscale study like this before a painting, but like I said, I'm new to landscapes, so I want to give myself the best shot here. squinting my eyes at the reference. Okay. Super concentrated here. Your voice is so beautiful. Oh, thank you, Pokia. Thank you. Okay, final value here. Hello from Tuscan as a first time, or your first time here. Hello. Okay, my final value here. Squinting at the reference, and I'm just gonna make this one big shadow shape. Actually helpful for me to look at the stream here. I can see how accurate I am. Okay, I feel like that's good enough to get the idea. Okay, there, I think that's my value study, just to get an idea of how to start, what we're working with. So I sketched this last night. I decided to do this like really late last night. I was going to paint another coaster, but I was like, you know what? I want to use my sketchbook, so it's crazy how good your sketch is. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm worried that this sketch here isn't visible enough on camera, so I might quickly bump it up a bit. But as I do that, I can answer some questions. Let's go back up. Which gouache paint can you recommend for beginners? I would say honestly any brand, and just get yourself the primary colors and white. The Turner brand it's a Japanese brand, and depending on how available it is where you are, for me, strangely enough, in Canada from Above Ground Art Supplies, it's super affordable. So that's sort of my affordable brand. And then I also use Shinhan, which is great. Shinhan came in my gouache subscription box. I also use Holbein and Winsor & Newton. Speaking of grayscale, how can I better practice values and brush direction, because my paintings always look so bad when I'm done? I would say do more grayscale paintings. You can take your reference and make it black and white. That can make it easier. You can also put your reference into Photoshop and use the posterize. Is it posterize or posterize? Probably posterize setting. And it just simplifies your image into bigger shapes, I guess. And I haven't done this in ages, but it's really helpful to simplify your image. And yeah. Lolanda, thank you for subscribing. Do you think you can use alcohol markers with gouache as a base color block in? Yes, you can totally do that. I saw the artist Catarado on Instagram do that, and I actually did that for I did a car painting in a YouTube video, a gouache car painting, and I started with an alcohol marker sort of underpainting, and I really liked doing that. So yes, you can. I didn't officially make it one of my yearly goals, but I'd love to improve my landscapes. The artist Judd Mercer, his Instagram is I think it's at Judd Mercer. His landscapes are incredible with gouache and oils. Very inspiring. Sorry, I knocked you guys. And I'm gonna change the position of the clouds a little bit. I don't like how it comes straight out from the top of the rocky structure. So I'm just lowering it a little bit. I think that's more interesting. Same down here. I just don't like how it lines up with the top of the rocks, this little patch of blue sky. So I'm just ever so slightly gonna change those shapes. I do really like this little triangle of blue sky down here. And I'm sort of narrowing this smaller rock here and leaving a little gap of sky on the side of it there. Okay. So I'm gonna tape off this sketch and then we can get painting. This is the tape I always use. It's Scotch Delicate Surface. There we go. English is not my first language and your speech is so clear for me. Very good to hear. Oh, thank you. That's really, really nice to hear. I always try to enunciate. Sometimes I think I do it too much. I'm the only person from Toronto that pronounces the second T in Toronto. Most people say Toronto or Toronto. And friends have laughed at me for that. I don't know why. I always Toronto. Toronto. I've only used my gouache set twice and I've had it for almost 2 years. Is it because you don't like using it, or you're intimidated to use it, or you just don't get around to it? I have stuff like that, like art supplies or things I go, you know, I'm gonna do that, and then years pass. Louisiana, hello. Just bought a new set of gouache. This is an exciting stream. Okay. I'm excited, but I'm really nervous, guys. How's that position? Okay, so I'm using my sketchbook that I designed with Etcher. I have it linked down below, and it's a box set that comes with the sketchbook, and it comes with this really cute little travel gouache palette that is airtight. I don't have it, but there's a little silicone layer that goes on top. Super cute. And it comes with an art print and some stickers and this gouache color mixing guide that I made. Yeah, really excited about this. This is probably my favorite thing in the set, besides the sketchbook, of course. And the sketchbook is well suited for watercolors and for gouache, any water-based media. All right, so I've got my palette here. I'm gonna add some white to my mixing palette, and this is a Red Grass Everlasting Wet palette, I think it's called. I should have put a link to that in the description as well, but I forgot. So I'm adding some white paint to the bottom of my mixing palette. I don't generally keep it in my airtight palette just because it gets dirty so fast, so I just add it to my mixing palette. And I'm waiting for a shipment of some art supplies to come in, so I'm kind of running low on some gouache colors, specifically titanium white. So I only have this Turner titanium white, and it's not my favorite. It's not very opaque. So I'm waiting for some Holbein paint to come in. Zinc white and titanium white. I used to strictly use zinc white for color mixing and titanium white for like details, highlights, stuff like that. But I got out of practice of doing that and had just used titanium white or permanent white for a long time as my only white. But I wanna give zinc white a try again, so I ordered some. I'll let you know how that goes. And this is just a light blue, and it's just ultramarine blue and white. It's a lazy paint, because I could mix it myself, but I think it'll be helpful for the sky. Okay, and I've got my craft camo brushes here. Hopefully the sounds of the rustling and stuff like that aren't too loud for you guys. I'm just gonna use my 1/2 inch brush. Hi Ultramarine, hello. Oh, you've got that, you've got the paint palette next to your name. I just added some more badges for channel members, and the badges change the longer you are a member for. And Ultramarine's been a member for a long time, so she's got the highest one, which is like a full paint palette. What's your opinion on schminke gouache? I haven't tried schminke gouache, so I can't tell ya. Okay guys, I have to just bite the bullet and start it. Can't even tell you the last time I've done a landscape, but we're gonna do it together. How should I even start? I'm gonna start with the big shadow shapes. Let's keep it simple. So I've got some burnt sienna, and I'm gonna take burnt umber, and ultramarine blue, because I generally mix burnt umber and ultramarine blue for my black, and then I'm just adding some burnt sienna to get that sort of reddish, earthy color. Should I do an underpainting? Should I do an underpainting? Yep, I'm gonna do an underpainting. See guys, this is real. This is how I actually paint. So scratch that, we're gonna come back to that. And I'm gonna start with just burnt sienna. I'm gonna water it down. And let's start with the big shadow shapes. So I do a burnt sienna underpainting for a lot of my portraits as well. I just really like the warm glow it gives from underneath. And I also think this will make painting this less scary for me, because the paper won't be stark white. I'll have something to work up from. And I also think we'll get that nice glow as well. I'm so sorry if I miss any questions. I'm gonna try and do I'm gonna paint a little bit, and then maybe when I wait for it to dry, I can answer some questions. That sort of thing. Because I've live streamed a few times now, and I'm starting to realize, okay, I can't do both at the same time. My brain's not good enough for that, so I gotta task switch a little bit. But let me know if you guys are sketching or painting today? What are you doing on this Sunday? Is it like a chill Sunday for you? I don't know why I left this gap here. Also, let me know how the quality of the stream is. This is my first time streaming with 4K. So I was a little worried it would be too laggy. If it is laggy for you, you can try reducing the resolution on YouTube under the stream. But hopefully it's okay. I've never heard my iMac fan go as loud as it is right now. Okay, I'm happy with that. We can let that dry. I have a hair dryer here, but I think I'll just answer some questions for a moment. Pokey, do you do digital art? I am new to your channel, that's why I'm asking. I do digital art. I go through phases of not doing much of it, but I've just recently gotten back into doing it. I only have one video on my channel about digital art, but maybe I'll do more in the future. If you check out my Instagram at mhughesart, you can see some of my recent digital paintings, if you're interested. How do you figure out how much water to use with the paint? I feel like mine is streaky, or I can't build opaqueness because it uses so much paint. So for an underpainting, I use a lot of water. It's more like watercolor. But then for the rest of the painting, I try and keep it a pancake batter consistency. So just enough water that when you drag your brush on the paper, it doesn't leave dry spots. What is your opinion on Schmincke? Oh, answered that, haven't used it. Lost faith. As a beginner, the brand doesn't really matter. Buy something within your budget and availability to get acquainted with it. When you're more comfortable, better quality supplies will have more meaning. Totally agree with that. When do you think it's time for someone to move from one skill to another, like from values to color and so on? That's a good question. I think you can just go at the pace that you feel comfortable with, but don't let it hold you back, you know? Don't tell yourself, oh, I can't work with color yet. When you want to work with color, give it a go. I did go to art school, and the first semester we only painted in black and white. So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry I don't have a better answer for that. Okay, I just gulped a bunch of water and I didn't want to do it in your ears. Sozy says, I've had great fun painting the cat from your first subscription box. I look forward to working on the second painting. Yay, I'm so happy to hear that, Sozy. Rasmus says, just started painting with gouache and it's just the type of paint I've been looking for. I find acrylics too shiny, watercolor not opaque enough, and oils too complicated, equipment-wise. Yeah, gouache is an incredible medium. I love it. And I think it's also a great medium to, like, you can go from gouache to oils pretty pretty seamlessly, I think, if you wanted to. Lubna, I hope I'm saying that right, is coloring a portrait with colored pencils. I love that. I'm painting an X-ray watercolor flower, Miss Adopt a Cat. Okay, that's so cool. I want to know more about that. Sozy says, I took my daughter to a farm, saw some chickens and alpacas. Now her dad took over so I could watch your stream. Okay, that's an idyllic Sunday. That sounds so nice. Well, thank you for joining. I don't think I can beat alpacas though. What do you think of those Tobios watercolor kits? I got one, but I'm not too into it. I've never heard of Tobios watercolor kits. I'll have to look into that. There's a bit of delay, but it's not too bad. No lost frames though. Okay, that's good to know. I think a bit of a delay is normal. Okay. I think this is good enough to move forward. I might blast it with my hair dryer and mute ya for a bit. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna go into more opaque gouache now. So I've got this mix I already mixed with ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and a little bit of alizarin crimson, or not alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, but I'm gonna add a little alizarin crimson. That's what I meant. Okay. So I know this is gonna look so stark because we don't have many values on here yet, but I do really like to start with the darkest darks. Certainly not the only approach to take. I could have started with the background, but that's the approach I'm going to take today. And I want to simplify it. I don't want to get too caught up in all the little details in the shadow. Things can be a lot softer in the shadows than in the light. I can't believe I'm doing a landscape on a live stream. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. Thank you to everybody who's joining me today, joining us. Yeah, if people like these streams, then I can make it a regular thing. Lucas, you've been a huge inspiration when I've tried gouache. Oh, thank you so much. That's so cool to hear. I'm just coming from school by bus, so it's fun and inspiring to watch your live stream. School on a Sunday. Well, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Do you just use any hairdryer for gouache? Oh yeah, this is just an ancient, an ancient hairdryer. Doesn't really matter. This one's not super powerful, which is nice. It doesn't blow everything on my desk away. Okay. Should I try and get in that sky? Where do you find your references? This one's from Pinterest. I used to, I still do, use Pinterest a lot for references for sketches, but it's getting really hard over there because there's so much AI now. I really hope they fix that. They can filter it out better, because right now it's just AI everywhere. So I'll go into my old Pinterest boards and all the references from there are not AI because I pinned them way before AI was doing its thing. But yeah. You can also use websites like, what's it called? Like royalty-free picture websites. I think I'm gonna try and get in this sky. So I've got this light blue color here. Let me add a little ultramarine. I think the sky in the reference is a little more cool. Maybe I'll add a little cobalt green pale. Pinterest does have settings for turning off AI recommendations. It gets rid of 90%. Yeah, I have that. I have those settings turned on and it does help, but I don't know. I still see so much AI stuff even with that setting on. Oops, bumped you guys again. Last time I was bumping the mic all the time. Oh, there's my dog. This time I'm bumping the camera. But I do think I have I have a better setup this time than I did last time. Switch to a larger brush. Oops. I hope that's not too loud. I've got a second water cup. There we go. There we go. Sorry, my voice there. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. And then I can go back over it to get the sky a little more punchy. That's been my word recently, punchy. Okay. Yeah, I just found it was getting a little bit muddy, so I switched to a bigger brush and I grabbed my second water cup. So this will be my sky water cup, and then I'll have the other one for the rocky scenery. I like how, sorry guys, I've been sick a few times this winter so far, so my voice comes in and out. I like how you use neon green to distinguish the sky color close to the rocks instead of white so it wouldn't desaturate the blue. Yes. Good eye. Yeah, I totally did that. So this is leaf green, and I just added a little bit, and I did add some white, but the leaf green does keep it from getting too, as you said, desaturated. I feel like I use too much paint when I use gouache. The tubes last for like 1 or 2 paintings. Is there any way to make the paints last longer or use it directly from the tube? Or is using it directly from the tube not correct? No, you can totally use it directly from the tube. That does sound like you're using a lot of paint. How big are the paintings that you're doing? So I generally keep my gouache paint in an airtight palette because I am using it so frequently. It doesn't, it doesn't dry out on me, but I do add a few drops of watercolor blending medium, and that does extend it a little bit and also helps to keep it from drying out. So you could try, getting some, it's Winsor & Newton watercolor blending medium, and just add 2 drops to a well's worth of paint. Like, would you say that you use this, like, would you empty this if you were painting with this? I'm just trying to figure out how much paint you're using. I think it does also help to have a big mixing surface so that you can scoop, the little bit of paint you need, mix with water, and get a really good consistency. Because you really do need to mix the water with the paint rather than just having a wet brush and dipping into the paint and then putting it on your paper, if that makes sense. They're only small paintings like in sketchbooks. I just feel like the paint doesn't spread or go on thick enough. Can't get this consistency right, but it's why I struggle so bad. Okay, yeah, I would definitely recommend a big palette. You could even use like a dollar store plate, like a ceramic plate. And yeah, when you are painting, make sure to mix the water into the paint rather than just, adding water on top, if that makes sense. That way you can get this nice pancake batter consistency. You answered my question before even getting to it. Thank you. Oh yeah, what you add to your gouache paint to keep it wet longer in your palette. Yeah, watercolor blending medium. I have it here, but it's I'm scared I'll knock the camera and light if I try and grab it. Dennis the Menace 93, seeing you paint makes me want to pick it up again. Would you recommend gouache as a beginner paint? Yeah, I would recommend gouache as a beginner paint. Gouache or acrylic. It sounds like my neighbor is sawing something, so hopefully it's not too loud. Let's see. How much do you try not to cross-contaminate your paints? I feel like I would make a mess out of that airtight palette. Yeah, so it totally happens, right? Like, I've started to mess up these paints, But all I do is I scrape out just the top layer, just that top contaminated layer. I'm also not dipping a super dirty brush in here and dipping it like right to the bottom of the well. I usually just tap the top. That way I can clean the top and the rest of the paint's pretty good. Gouache Sundays are a perfect way to end the week. Yay! Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I think this is a nice, cozy way to end the week. All right. I think I'm gonna go into the rocks and the landscape a bit before going back to the sky. Okay, I've gotta remind myself to try and keep my water cups relatively organized. Normally I would just make a trip to the sink to switch out my water, but I was prepared, so I've got 3 water cups. Okay, so I think burnt sienna. And might seem crazy, but I'm gonna add a little cobalt teal to that and a little lilac to desaturate it. Lilac is one of the colors I'm waiting for from my shipment. So I just have a tiny little bit in this palette. Okay, I feel like this is a good color. Need to add a little more water. So this rock face isn't as warm as the shadow side. And I think I need to lighten it even more. I'm gonna open, I have my bigger gouache palette here with a few more colors. Here we go. It looks pretty clean. I'm just surprised because I have been using it, but like I said, you just scrape the top layer and it stays pretty good. Okay. I just wanted to be able to use some Naples yellow. I made that value way too dark. And I might need to go over this a few times to get it to that right value. I'm also noticing the reference looks a lot warmer on the stream than it does on my phone. Let's see. Can you see how much cooler it looks here than it does there? Okay, maybe I need to do something between the two. I'll keep that in mind. So I'll make this a little warmer. Yeah, because I was painting and then I was looking up at the stream and I'm like, oh, it looks so much warmer up there. Adding a little cad red light. It's really different. Yeah, Screens are crazy like that. Yeah, because I'm looking at it on my phone and it's almost like a more neutrally gray, leaning slightly warm, but okay, I think I'm gonna try and do something between the two. This paper is so nice to paint on. I don't normally treat myself to painting on nice paper like this with gouache. It might ruin me for it. I'll go back to my bad papered. Won't be good enough. I'm not gonna worry about all the details in here at this moment. Let's just get in some big blocks of color. I also don't want to spend forever on this. I think these shapes are so fun though. These rocky shapes. I think this photo is taken in Utah. I've never seen a landscape like this in person, but man, I would love to. The Bianca, I discovered you recently and your videos have inspired me to return to painting. Life got busy and I slowly lost the habit. That's incredible. I love that. Setting aside time for you to do something that you enjoy. Love that. Also, I did put the reference in the description, like a link to the image, so if you want to sketch this at home, you can do it. Sketch or paint. Gotta keep my value steady. So if you weren't here for the beginning, I did this little quick alcohol marker value thumbnail. I wish I could have it on the screen. If only I did it a little bit to the right. Oh well, I'm learning. Marissa says, love the reference, not your usual reference. It's coming out lovely. Thank you, yes. I was saying, not my typical subject matter, so definitely not in my comfort zone, but that's when we can have some fun, you know? What I was talking about earlier with consistency. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Jocelyn. When you are going across the paper and you start to see these specks of dryness, that's when I know that consistency is not right. I gotta add a little more water, and that's a better stroke. And if you added more water and then you lost opacity, that means you need a little more paint and a little more water. It's so easy to want to get into all these little details. I just have to remind myself not to. It's also still blowing me away how much warmer the reference is on the stream. Okay, I'm gonna make a big mix here just so I can get... Let's just fill in this area and then we can worry about detail later. Trying to get it a little bit closer to the colors in the reference on the stream because it's so much warmer. Super Trooper, wish I could stick around for the rest of the stream. Will you leave up a VOD so I can check out the painting when I have time? Yes, so there will be a VOD on the channel. You just have to go to my channel and go to the live stream tab. It won't show up in the video tab. It'll show up under the live streams, but it'll be there. Which mixing palette are you using? This is the Redgrass Everlasting Wet palette. Yeah, I really should have put a link for it. I have an affiliate link, but it's on my Instagram if you want to go over there, or you can just Google Redgrass. Okay. I'm gonna use my bigger brush. It'll keep me from getting too into the little details too soon. What music is that in the background? It's so soothing. Yeah, it's just a jazz playlist. I'm using Epidemic Sound so that I don't get dinged with a copyright strike. I have a link to Epidemic Sound in the description. But I love listening to jazz while I'm painting, so I thought you guys might like it as well. Hope it's not too loud. My upstairs neighbor is vacuuming, I think, or something. Okay, big block of color. We'll break that up into its smaller shapes in a little bit. I'm gonna add this little rocky shelf here. Oh my goodness, my streaming software says we have 101 viewers right now. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's crazy. I wasn't even paying attention to the view count, but wow, hello everyone. I hope you're having a nice, relaxing Sunday. Oh, sorry for bumping you guys. My big head. This is so out of my comfort zone, this landscape painting, that it feels like my brain's learning a new language. It's weird. I really have to think about each step, you know? Whereas like portrait paintings come a little more naturally. I don't have to be thinking so hard. Smoke coming out of my ears. I'm the opposite. I cannot paint a portrait. Yeah, it's just what you get used to. It's the pathways you create in your brain. They're easier to follow once you've, you know, carved out those paths a number of times. I feel like I'm out there carving a new path in my brain with this landscape. I got a machete and I'm just cutting my way through the brush. Stupid. So dramatic. I'm the opposite as well. Portraits are scary. Landscapes are scary. Okay, so this line that comes up here, it's this dividing line between the shadow and the light, and when I really squint at the reference, I see a pop of red. So I'm gonna add a little pop of red. And if you get really close to the reference, there's like green shrubs in there, which I'm not gonna worry about. When you squint at the reference, those green shrubs just sort of optically mix with the colors around it. So all they do is desaturate some of the colors. But even so, I see sort of a glow of red around these shadow shapes. So I'm just gonna add a few pops here and there. This is cadmium red light. I'm gonna add it in a few places next to the shadows. And I am gonna mostly cover these marks that I'm making, but I think it would be nice to have some of this bright red pop out. this highlight right here is way too light for this mark right here. So I'm gonna have to go in and knock that down. Not right this second, but I'm making a mental note of that. So because this isn't my typical subject, I am sort of hopping all over the place, even more than I normally do. Like there's probably a better order of events than what I'm doing, but I am having fun. Okay, let's knock this guy back. That's better. Much better. I hope the music volume's okay for you guys. You wouldn't believe how strangely complicated it is to stream the music as I'm also listening to the same music. At least on a Mac, it was weirdly difficult. I had to download software and I don't know. I'm not not very tech savvy. Haunt Jester. I'm trying so hard to draw things that aren't portraits lately, but portraits are always the most compelling thing to me. Yeah, I feel the same way. I always go back to portraits, but I do love exploring different things. And Chantana, Emily, I love that you're doing these live streams weekly, and I just purchased your Etcher sketchbook too. Been learning a lot with your subscription box as well. Gouache is so much fun, thank you. Thank you so much. You've bought the subscription boxes and the sketchbook set. That's so amazing, thank you. I love that you're having fun with Gouache, and yeah, thanks for joining me today. That's so nice to hear. Thank you. I'm really trying to think about how to handle this bottom part of the landscape. So when I squint, I see like a strip here that's a little more cool, I think because of all the brush in this valley, or all the shrubbery. And then it sort of comes down. And then obviously there's this piece here that's lighter, but I'm gonna do that a little bit closer to the end. Okay, so this strip here is slightly cooler. Once again, it's so different from the reference on the screen. So much cooler. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this color for this strip. My palette's so brown. Putting my burnt sienna to work today. Okay. Ugh, I don't know. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so this color kind of like swoops around here. It's just where there's more shrubbery in this valley. Did I get this color accurate? I don't know. I don't know about all that, but playing with some more brushy strokes for this. That's too dark. Immediately, that's too dark. Let's see. No ideas how you're keeping the values organized. You must be a wizard. Honestly, it's just chaos. Like I said, I feel like when I do portraits or subject matters that I'm more used to, I can keep my values more organized. This is just pure chaos. Pure chaos. Mad respect to all the landscape artists out there. This music's so cool. So jazzy. This is Chaos Puddle. Absolute Chaos Puddle. I don't know, ideally I would want this to be a lot more simplified than what I have here. I gotta do more landscape studies. The top of this mound here gets a little bit cooler. Might be reflecting the sky, but I'm gonna try and get that in. You already have some very nice shapes in the rocks, so juicy. Thank you. Yeah, these shapes are the star of the show. That's why I don't want other areas of the painting to be too distracting. But I don't want to phone them in either. I think I need to let this area dry a little bit. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to drop them and I'll try and respond. See if I missed any. Oh, Cassis dropped in. I don't know if you're still here, Cassis, but hey! Wonderful Funny, I painted that a few years back. It will be cool to see your take on it. It will be so better. I don't know, Cassis, your landscapes are killer. But yeah, I'd love to see your take on it. And Lazy Thing said I did a digital painting of this a while ago. Great practice for working with shapes and values. This made me want to get back into painting. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, I missed some comments here. If you edit the photo on your phone, you could bump up the warmth/saturation, quick to make it easier. That's a good point. I could probably do that, but you know what? I'm just looking at the stream reference, and it's kind of far away and kind of small for me, but that almost helps me out. Okay. Seeing if I missed anything else. Sozi says, I love how this is turning out. Thank you so much, Sozi. Haunt says, you probably mentioned it in your videos, but what kind of gouache are you using? Yeah, so this is just traditional gouache, and it's a mix of Holbein, Shinhan, Winsor & Newton, and Turner brand gouache. In my palette here, I have Burnt Sienna, Cad Red, Alizarin Crimson, Cad Yellow Lemon, Burnt Umber, Ultramarine Blue, Cobalt Green Pale, Leaf Green, and Lilac. Oops. And then I did pull out my big gouache palette here just so I could dip into the Naples Yellow, the Neutral Gray, and I'm dipping in a little bit to the Cad Red Light and also the Cadmium Orange. Oops. Oh my gosh, I hope that wasn't crazy loud. Sorry, guys. Any advice on how to develop a consistent painting routine? I don't know. I think I would just schedule the time in. If you have a planner, I will literally write down paint as a task, and that just means I have to sit down and paint, and that helps me being able to check it off. Also, if you have a setup where you don't have to do a lot of setup, if that makes sense, you can just sit down, your palette's here, fill your water, and you're good to go. Like, that makes it easy. You want to have the least amount of obstacles as possible to be able to get painting. That's why I love keeping my gouache in an airtight palette, like these. Okay. I'm thinking I might work on the sky a little bit because this is still a little tacky. Okay. I just grabbed a fresh piece of paper towel. You don't want to be using a super damp rag or paper towel because then you'll never get your brush dry enough. Okay. Running out of room on my palette. I really want it to look like a nice big flat piece of sky. Don't want too much texture in there. A nice gradient. Oops. Sorry about that. And I'm really mixing because I don't want it to be streaky. Sort of carving out the rock. Let's see. Sending love from New York. This snowstorm's insane. Oh my goodness. Yeah, stay warm, stay safe. I'm in Montreal. It's been really cold, but so far okay in terms of snow. Across the Atlantic here in Portugal, there's also a storm going on. It has snowed again in cities that haven't seen it in years. That's crazy. Everybody stay safe. Meanwhile, in Utah, it only snowed once this year and it had already melted. Very unusual. I'm in the Boston area, same storm at New York, but I suspect we are both well prepared. Yeah, everyone stay safe. Hopefully you've got all your food, all your groceries, and you can just stay warm inside, wait out the storm. It felt like negative 30, 37, 38 degrees Celsius here yesterday. I didn't have to go out and brave it, but my partner did, and he said that his eyelashes were freezing together. So that's nuts. Okay, I'm gonna go into these clouds. I think it's really gonna make this painting, it's gonna take it to the next level, hopefully. Fake it till you make it. I never used gouache before. Does the paint dry if you leave the box open during a few hour session? No, it'll sometimes get a little bit of a seal on the top that you have to sort of push open, but you can just stir it up and it's fine. So I'm gonna keep using this 1-inch brush. It's not 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch brush for the clouds, just so that I can keep the shapes big and loose and not too specific. And I do see that there's warmth on the bottom side of the clouds, which I will bring in a second. Okay. I'm gonna bring some lilac to the party. I'm gonna mix slightly into my warmer mix here. Sorry if that song was too intense. Okay, so the underside of these clouds are warmer. They're sort of reflecting the landscape. I don't often paint clouds, so this is fun for me. I do want to paint with watercolors more this year. That was one of my goals in my latest video. I was talking about my art goals for the year, and watercolor painting is definitely up there on the list. But I don't know if I'm ready to live stream watercolor painting because I'm just so not good at it. I'm so new at it. Takes 100% of my brain power. I don't know, maybe a little later in the year I can try to live stream some watercolor sessions. I'm squinting so much right now at the reference. I do think adding these clouds is helping the painting as a whole right now. sort of lighter around the rocks. Gives it sort of a glow there. It's cool. And I mentioned it earlier when I was doing my value sketch, which is right here off the screen, that I'm sort of changing the clouds a little bit. I didn't want them to be lined up right at the top of the rocks, so I'm pushing them down a little bit, just for composition's sake. Nerd news today, can I use watercolor brushes with gouache, or should I use a heavier brush like I would with oils and acrylics? So I like to use synthetic brushes that are more suited for acrylics. You could use watercolor brushes if they're a little stiffer. You don't want super, super floppy brushes. So like my brush set with Craftamo, I designed them for gouache, and they have, I'm not going to touch the wet one. This is like the level of stiffness that I like for gouache, so not super floppy, but they also hold a lot of paint and water, because if they're too stiff, then they don't hold a lot of paint, I find, and then you're constantly dipping back in your gouache. But I think if you used really soft, absorbent watercolor brushes, especially natural bristles, I think it would just take in way too much water, and it would be very difficult to control your consistency with the gouache. Loving the shapes you have going on, solid. Thank you, Bianca. Multiple people have recommended lilac. What do you use it for? The color scares me, although I have a tube. Okay, so I love lilac on my palette. Doesn't matter if I'm painting with oils or with gouache, I have to have lilac. And what I use it for is often to lighten and desaturate, or lighten and cool in my mixes with portrait paintings. But even with landscapes, like, I use it all the time. So this rocky red landscape, if I need to make it a little bit cooler here or there, like right here it's a little bit cooler, so I added a little bit of lilac. And yeah, it's just sort of like a cheat. So instead of adding white, where it would desaturate, not necessarily desaturate, but it would dull your mix, the lilac doesn't so much, if that makes sense. Oh, sorry guys, I bumped you again. Okay, so I have to bring back in a little bit of sky over here. go back over here just to smooth out the sky. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call this pretty soon. I just want to add in a couple little light moments into this rocky structure. What would you guys call this? A cliff? It's not a mountain. Yeah, I'm not really super familiar with this sort of landscape, so a rocky, I just keep calling it a rocky structure. Hatch says, yes, painting. Oh, I love rocks. Hell yeah. Yeah, me too. This has been a challenging one, but it's super fun. Formation? A rock formation. Guys, that's it. That's it. Rock formation. Thank you. There's so much more I want to do. Pretty clouds, thank you. Yeah, I'm not super, I don't paint clouds a lot, so it's a challenge. I need more practice, but just trying to think of them as big shapes. Big soft shapes. Okay, I think I'm gonna add a few darker values in here. Man, I just wanna... There's so much I still wanna do, but don't wanna stream too long. 'Cause then I'm like, I also really loved these bushes, or these little shrubs, and I wanted to include them. Let's just get the shadows of the shrubs at least for now. The cloud on the right side just wants to get out of the paper in any moment. I love that. Rock Formation would be a fun girl group name, totally. Love your brushes. Ordered them from Craftamo, really excited to paint with gouache with them. I've also noticed you use them with oils too. How do you take care of them after? Yeah, Deadly Ninja. So I designed them with gouache in mind, so I mostly use them for gouache, but I have a separate set that I use for oils. So I don't know if I would recommend, one set, putting them through the ringer with oils and gouache. Thank you, Heliosa, for subscribing. But essentially I clean them with some gentle dish soap after each painting session, and they've held up really well. I have my oil brushes over there. And then every once in a while I'll do a really good clean with some brush soap from, what's the brand? I maybe lost it in the move. But if you look up Artist's brush cleaner, and it's like a moisturizer, so it cleans and moisturizes, and it's in the puck. I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's like a little round puck, and you swirl it around in there. But yeah, thank you so much for ordering my brushes. I would just recommend, don't leave them sitting in paint, don't leave them sitting in water, and give them a nice clean with, when you're using gouache, just water. Give them a nice good clean, wipe them down, leave them flat to dry. And with oils, yeah, you can just use a little dish soap and some brush moisturizer. Yeah. Conditioner? Yeah, conditioner. Every once in a while. I apologize, I didn't have the best sleep last night. And there's definitely a connection between lack of sleep and not being able to come up with the right words for things. Like rock formation. Palette is pure chaos now. Don't you get nervous painting in front of people? Because I do. I totally do. When I first started filming myself painting, I would say to people, I'd be like, I don't know if I can do it because I just paint so terribly when the camera's on, because I know that it's on and I know that people are gonna see it. But I think I've gotten to the point where it doesn't bother me so much. But I definitely think live streaming it's different. Like, I feel like if I painted this without live streaming, it would have gone differently, because I would be focusing 100% on the painting and not also, you know, talking to you guys. But that being said, I really enjoy talking to you guys while I'm painting and hanging out. So it's a trade-off that is worth it, in my opinion. And it's not like I'm gonna do every painting ever on live stream. But yeah, you definitely get used to it. I'm also lucky where people in this community tend to be really nice and wholesome, so that's nice. There's always gonna be some bad apples, but I don't take it to heart. Okay. I'm just darkening some of the values where the shadows are the most intense. And I should probably wait for this color to dry here, but I kind of want to bring the sky down right here. Yeah, definitely should have waited for that to dry, but oh well. I'll go back over that later. I just like the idea of this rock popping out a little more here. Okay, I think I'm gonna add some shrubbery. I'm gonna suggest the shrubbery. If I can. Oh, that's way too green, Emily. So we're gonna add some of these reddy colors. Here we go. Desaturate it. Because they are translucent, they're not super dense. They're not translucent, but they're not dense shrubbery, so you can see that red earth coming through it. So it becomes a dull green like that. Okay, let's start with darks. Just here and there I'm gonna hint at some greenery. little yellow ochre. Gentle with Giants, looking forward to coming prepared to paint next time. Love this. Yay! Yep, I will be here next Sunday, hopefully. Same time, 12 p.m. EST, and whatever I'm painting, I'll make sure to put the reference so we can do it together. And I'll have it in the description as well. A little more cobalt green pale to make it a little cooler. And let's get in some lighter parts of these shrubs. A little bit of this leaf green. Mixing a lighter, brighter color for right on this bottom corner. Hi, first time being here. KHWLA. Hello. Black Mantius, does the camera get in the way of you seeing what you're doing? It's actually not bad. So I'm using a different camera than I was using before for live streaming. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it's really small, and I have it just sort of up and over my shoulder, and I'm able to rotate the gimbal and get a pretty good angle, I think, without it being in the way. So actually my head is pretty much right over, oh there I am, right over the painting, and you can't see it. It's not obstructing the view. Too bad. Too bad, not at all. It's not obstructing the view at all, which is great. What do you recommend people who want to start with gouache? Yeah, I answered this earlier, but honestly, any brand that is affordable, easily available to you, and I would just get the primaries, white, the primary colors, and white and burnt umber. So get ultramarine blue, get cadmium red medium, or a synthetic version of cadmium. I'm trying to think of an alternative. Some people don't like painting with cadmium, and cadmium's a little more expensive, but just get a nice neutral red. I also like having alizarin crimson or a really dark cool red like that, and then a cadmium yellow and a lemon yellow. You can see my brain thinking when my brush is moving like this. Okay, I don't want to overwork it. I don't want to add too much detail. I think that's the landscape painting thing, is that when things are far away like this, like you don't see this much detail, right? Like if we were standing in person. So because I'm looking at a picture, it's like, oh, well, I want to add all of these little shapes. But I should probably keep things simple. Okay, how about we peel off the tape and then I can add some pops of brighter white in the clouds, and then I think I'll call this a day. I'll call this a study. Got my value study there. Okay, I'm gonna mute the mic while I use the hairdryer, because the hairdryer softens the adhesive of the tape and it will come up, hopefully, without ripping the paper. Okay. I was laughing because the tape stuck to the marker. That was probably the best paint peel, tape peel, there we go, we got there, that I've ever done, because we did not rip the paper at all. So that is great. The gods were on our side today. Yeah, so that's the delicate surface tape, works really well, and then using the hairdryer, definitely recommend for a good tape peel, or whatever I said before. Sozie says, it's so great to see your palette. I'm so nervous with color mixing and trying to understand color. It always amazes me when I see someone who's so confident with it. I waste so much paint when mixing. Oh, I'm glad you like seeing the palette. I do have to say, this was probably one of my more chaotic palettes here. Just because I'm so unfamiliar with landscapes. Let's see, joining super late. Glad I still caught you. Thank you. Yeah, so the recording of the whole live stream will be on the channel under the live stream tab if anybody wants to, you know, rewatch the process. Or see the beginning, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna get a new brush because I don't want any muddiness in our clouds. No muddy clouds here. Let's see. It truly is. I always have to stop and think before I dip my brush. It looks so effortless here. I'm really glad it looks effortless, but I gotta tell you, it's not. I'm really thinking about it, and a lot of these are sort of wasted mixes where I've had to make a lot of adjustments. see. Natalie says, I've been sketching a portrait while listening to the stream. Love the background music. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Natalie. Yeah, I'm glad we can make art together. It's really nice. I think these streams will also be nice for me, these Sunday streams, because I just moved to a new city and I don't know anybody here, to be completely honest with you. I have to get out there, I think. But it is nice to be able to hang out with people, like-minded people, and make some art, so. And I moved to a new city in the winter. So it's like, just want to stay inside. Just want to stay inside and paint and read a book. Is that too much to ask for? Okay, so I'm going in with white and just gonna bring out these clouds a little bit. I said at the start of the stream, this isn't my favorite white. This is the Turner brand gouache, and it's really affordable for me in Canada from Above Ground Art Supplies. And it's pretty solid gouache, but it's not the most pigmented or opaque. So yeah, I'm waiting for some more gouache to come in the mail. Some Holbein gouache, but for right now, oops, onto the camera. For right now, I'm making do, and it gets the job done. It's actually a miracle I haven't gotten any paint on the page, because I always have paint on my hand. Dennis the Menace looks so dreamy, makes me want to go to Utah. Me too. I've never seen a landscape like this in person. Have any of you guys ever painted plein air? Painted out and about, outside from life? I haven't done that since art school. So, oh my god, over 6 years ago. Where did the time go after the pandemic? Natalie says, what book are you reading? Oh, thank you for asking, Natalie. Well, I always read multiple books on the go, but right now I'm reading The Housekeeper and the Professor, and it is such a heartwarming, beautiful story. I'm loving it so much. It's a really short book. I just started it, and I'm trying to savor it. And I'm also reading the last book, or the last available book of the Game of Thrones book series. A Dance with Dragons, I think? Yeah, and then I'm gonna be with the mob of people waiting for the next book in the series, which may never come. And I'm also, oh sorry, my dog's barking. I'm also reading a book called The Books of Jacob by the author Olga, and then I can't pronounce her last name. She's Polish, and I really loved her book The Impusium, which I read last year, so I wanted to pick up her magnum opus, which is The Books of Jacob, and it's like over 1,000 pages long, so I've just been chugging through that. Madison, gotta go. I've been putting off my laundry for way too long. Thank you for joining us, Madison. Thank you. Love Chill Live. Thank you. I love painting plein air, says Bones and Pine Cones. I love that name. I live by a bunch of hiking trails. Oh, perfect. I love that. I'd love to paint plein air more. Plein April is coming for you. Oh my gosh, you're right. Plein April. I do love seeing everybody else's Plein April posts. Okay guys, I might call this done think my dog's getting a little restless and I should probably eat something. So kind of just like to add some little like poofy fun cloud marks here and there. Oh, there's like a little wisp here. Should I add the wisp? I'm gonna add the wisp. Make it like a fun shape. Okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's like a peanut shape. Okay, don't overwork it. Don't overwork it. Sozi says, I am Polish. Oh, amazing. Olga Tokarskas. Olga Tokarska. Sorry, I am definitely not saying that right, but I'm obsessed with her writing, and the translation is really great. I just want to read all of her work. Yeah, I apologize for messing up the last name there. Nice wisp. Thank you. Okay, final thing, guys, before I wrap this up. It's not in the reference, but I want a little bit of blue sky right here to frame it, and it's a little muddy. So I'm gonna go in with pretty much straight light blue, which is just ultramarine and titanium white. And let's just put that there. Oh, I should have done it in one stroke. It's sort of picking up the brown there. Let's just go thicker with it. There. Okay. There we go. Okay, I don't totally hate this. Thank you guys for joining me. I seriously can't tell you when the last time I painted a landscape was. It's been so long, so thank you for putting up with with the chaos of it and me not really knowing what I'm doing. But I think it turned out pretty good. I don't know if the camera lighting's the best here, but I really enjoyed painting in my Etcher sketchbook collab with, look at that bunny. Isn't it so cute? With the yellow band. It's so cute. Oh, sneak peek of some paintings I'm doing for a video. Thank you, Natalie. Sozi says it's more like Tokarczuk. Okay, Tokarczuk. Olga Tokarczuk. Great author, guys. Really great author. Sozi says, thank you for your stream. Your landscape looks great. Thank you, Sozi. Audrey, beautiful. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody that joined me. With everything going on in the world, this live stream is so nice to have as a peaceful and relaxing way to spend Sundays painting with you. Thank you again, Emily, for providing this experience. Yes, thank you so much for joining me. It's dark out there, and yeah, we just have to remember to stick together. I ordered the Etcher set right away, but I'm always tempted to buy another one while I can. Oh, to get a second one? Yeah, I'm already stressed about when I finish this one, that I won't have another one, but yeah, thank you so much for ordering it. I'm really loving working in it. And this little pocket palette, how precious is that? I love it. So yeah, I have my Etcher sketchbook box set linked below if anybody's interested. It also comes with this little gouache color mixing guide that I made, which I think is super handy. Misty, I love how it turned out. This was really chill and a great time. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you, guys. All right, Deadly Ninja, thanks for the stream. It was very enjoyable to watch. Thank you, guys. So I'll be here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to hang out again. But yeah, everyone, stay safe out there. Stay warm. love the people in your life, love your loved ones, and yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next Sunday. And hopefully before then with another video. I should have a video coming out Friday, a tour of my new art studio, so yeah. Dennis the Menace, what a lovely way to spend a Sunday evening. Alright, thank you guys! I'm gonna say bye now. Bye, much love. See you next week.